I feel like everyone there has a cohesive mind in the sense that like we're all here to make everything better for all of us.
Just get in, roll your sleeves up, meet people, step out of your comfort zone, don't have a comfort zone, and you're definitely going to make those connections. You get out of it what you put into it.
Welcome to From Dirt to Doorknobs, podcast hosted by Calhoun Co. Construction, where our goal is by 2032 to build 1,000 doors here in San Diego. Obviously, there's a housing crisis, so we're working with everybody in our network to make that possible. And one of the things that we've done recently is become members of the BIA, or the Building Industry Association here in San Diego. We have our guest, Shannon Gaunt, who is the VP of Member Services here. And she's a big advocate of bringing people together to form a network that can not only utilize, other members to be more efficient in what they're doing, but also into change legislation here in San Diego. Huge advocates of, attacking the housing crisis. Really happy to have you on. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I love the name of your podcast, by the way. That's awesome.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's kind of like when the shovel hits the dirt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all here. You've been a big advocate for the BIA. I joined mostly because I was introduced to you through a network here at the company, but I've known about the BIA for a long time. I think I talked to you already about how I've been to events with my friend Tyler Sandstrom over at New Point Communities, and always been impressed with the events you guys throw and the things that you guys are doing. So happy to finally be a member and be an advocate and be part of some of the committees and push for legislation change. So really happy to have you on the podcast with us. So we call, the BIA the connector, right? It's not just for builders. Tell us a little bit about how you feel the BIA impacts the building industry overall here in San Diego.
Well, good question. Pretty much impacts all levels of build. Not, like you said, not just the builder members, but you have the trades, you have the sales, you have the lenders. Anything that supports the sales, supports the build of the communities is what the BI is all about.
Right.
You're going to have your trade groups, you're going to have your sales and marketing teams, your titles, your escrow, anything that you could think of that would support bringing that home to market is what we're all about.
Yeah, and we're not just talking about, single family homes. We're not just talking about ADUs. We're talking about multifamily apartment complexes, condos, housing communities, right? How do we get more housing here in San Diego? Because the last time I checked, I think we're about 4 years behind on hitting our mark for housing here. And the homeless, have increased year over year. So it's very important that we have organizations like the BIA that are pushing to help meet the needs of our community and our city. What do you feel like is kind of the founding principles, or like the most important thing that the BIA contributes to the building industry?
Well, obviously, I would say is what we need to do to support bringing housing at all levels to market. You hit it on the head. One of the things about San Diego is we're very aware of the build that's happening, and we've got such a broad mix from ADUs. We just brought on an ADU committee this last year because we saw that was a very important segment of the build industry. Mm-hmm. We have multifamily. We've had a shift. So where in the past it was primarily single family infill projects or large master plan communities, you're seeing a lot multifamily, for rent, for lease, affordable. So we really have the broad mix of build in San Diego, and we're working to bring value or provide what is needed at all levels. So
yeah, what I love about is, we're a recent member here, I don't know, in the last 3 months maybe. Mm-hmm. And just getting inundated and meeting some of the people. We were fortunate enough to attend your event last week, which was Meet the Builder. Gave us an opportunity to kind of set up a table and meet a bunch of vendors and other people that we could potentially work with. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was member only.
It was member only.
And we had over 500 attendees. It was awesome. There was food and there was bars and cocktails, networking opportunity. But then there was also an opportunity to really connect with people that are looking to find valuable partners in the industry that can help build their business, right? So it was pretty overwhelming to see the attendance and be like, wow, everyone here is committed to not only this organization, but into building their own personal brand and helping out on this common goal of attacking this housing crisis and working together.
I'll tell you a story. So I'm very passionate about the Building Industry Association, very much San Diego. I was a part of other chapters because there's chapters throughout the United States. But they become like your family, and everyone looks out for each other. There's a lot of B2B business, development amongst the members, as well as who the obvious person is you want to do business with. But there's a lot of B2B internally within the membership. I started BI San Diego at a Meet the Builder. So I was a part of another chapter, and I moved back down here to San Diego, and one of my friends, Sarah Kilburn, said,
Shout out.
What's
up, Sarah?
She's like, hey, Shan, you got to come to a sales and marketing council meeting. It is next level. Come to it, join it. And so I come. I'm sitting in this room with just this powerhouse group of people and deer in headlights, right? I didn't really know anything. And so afterwards, she would call me. She's like, what did you think? I'm like, oh my gosh, it was incredible. She's like, okay, you got to join. I wasn't a member yet. I'm like, okay, no problem. Hour later, she calls me. I'm like, not yet, but I will. Hour later, she calls me. So by 4 o'clock, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to let Sarah call me and not have said yes. So I joined, got super involved. I've been on multiple councils and committees, but my first event was Meet the Builder. And I remember coming and I had full-on butterflies. I didn't know what to expect. I just see this room full of people. I walk in and there's Sarah. She's like, Shan, come, meet everybody. And that's kind of the culture that we have.
Right.
You could walk up to any person within the BI and say, hey, I want to meet this person. They're like, come with me. It's just we very much want everyone to get out of their membership. We want to meet you where you're at to help you be successful with it.
Yeah, I found that very apparent, even just, this being our first time at a Meet the Builder and being one of the builders at the event. The willingness that other people had, even on paper, quote unquote, competitors, were like, oh, you're pricing here on your projects, and you're trying to get here, like you need to meet this person. And everyone is so open to connecting those dots, whether or not they feel like it's for personal gain or, I feel like everyone there has a cohesive mind in the sense that like we're all here to make everything better for all of us. I'm not here to self-serve. All the members, in my opinion, feel like they're there to be a part of the community and to contribute, which is something that I don't find in a lot of networking groups. I've been to a lot of networking groups. It's all about, let me pitch.
It's a pretty special group.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yep.
And how long have you been with the BIA?
I've been with the BIA for 2 years. It'll be my anniversary the end of April. But prior to that, I was a 16-year BIA member. And so I served on Sales and Marketing Council. I served on membership for 12 years. I was a mentor on with the YGen group, which is another incredible part of the BIA. I was on the board of directors, San Diego Political Action Committee, Icon Committee. So you get involved.
Yeah.
And it took me a while. One of the things that we're really trying to do is make sure we set the right expectation, especially with newer members. It takes a little bit of time to build relationships, but once you do, you've got to get in and get involved. Roll your sleeves up next to the people you want to do business with. And the people that you think you want to do business with aren't necessarily
always
the
people, yeah.
Like you said, it's B2B. Like you'll have someone, Nicole Wyman is famous for this. She'll be working on a project and she'll be like, okay, we need this, we need this, we need this. And she'll pull people in to projects that she's on that she knows will do an incredible job.
Right.
So there's a lot of that as well.
Absolutely.
But just get in, roll your sleeves up, meet people, put yourself out there, step out of your comfort zone. Don't have a comfort zone.
Get
involved.
That's great advice.
And you're definitely going to make those connections. You get out of it what you put into it. One of the things when I came to work for the BIA is I kind of have like a member hat and a staff hat, and my biggest challenge is how do we get all of our information out there? There's so many benefits just to the member, aside from producing housing. There's just so many benefits to being a member. How do you get that information out there? So that was probably one of my biggest challenges. And then also, how do we get a member from A to Z as fast as possible so that they're not spinning their wheels? So we have very targeted approaches. We have an incredible membership committee. We have Charlie Seelig and Dane Stordahl, who oversee the liaison program, to where we'll get members in and get them have a very targeted plan and approach so that they're getting in quickly. And I think you guys may have
Right.
experienced that as new members.
Yeah, I would say, just speaking from experience, I think it's so easy a lot of the time to find networking groups or organizations that you want to be a part of, and you know, you might have the right intent in wanting to be an advocate and give all this energy, but it can be intimidating to
It's
jump
easy
into
to
a
get
group
lost.
that you don't really know anybody. I was fortunate enough to know a lot of members, be invited to sit in on a couple of committees. So I feel like you know, when we as a company, Cal Homeco Construction, joined, it was very easy for me to jump into a pool of people that are committed and dedicated to, you know, utilities and infrastructure and ADUs, and talk to people that I'm already familiar talking with. And have relationships with, and we're all working together to, you know, push legislation and drive progress here in the city, with the building department, with SCG&E, with a lot of the big key components of every build. But I also can see where you're coming from, where it's easy to join, pay a membership fee, and then just kind of like sit behind the scenes. Like I said, I feel fortunate that I got thrown into the deep end, and it's been a great way for me to meet new people, and that's by participating. It's not by just paying the membership fee and putting it on your website that you're a member of the BIA. It's about getting involved.
Right.
And that's where the true benefits come, right? And you guys do a great job doing like an orientation for new members. I've had plenty of people from BIA reach out to me saying like, hey, who are you looking to meet? Let me introduce you to other members. So it is a really tight knit culture. It is nationwide, so it feels big, but like when you're in the same room with everybody, it really does feel welcoming and warm, and everyone's there to help each other out. So that's what I've loved. I'm a short-term member, but don't plan on going anywhere. And you were so great at following up with me to help me feel comfortable taking that
Drove
step.
you crazy?
So you drove me a little crazy, but in the best way possible. And I would want that from an organization that sees value in bringing new members in that are, you know, going to contribute to an overall cause. So I don't think that there was anything wrong with what you were doing. I function the same way. I'm in sales, so
Yeah.
I appreciate the way that you handled it, and you did make me feel very welcome, and that you wanted me to be a part of the team. So
Well, we don't want you to get lost. We don't
Right.
want anyone to get lost in the shuffle. That's the thing. I mean, I did experiment a little bit when I came on to this position, and I joined other groups. And it was hard for me to figure out how to integrate into it. So I wanted that experience so I could figure out how to make sure when we do have members, or even existing members that want to get involved. You know, we have a lot of companies that have been members for 15, 20, 30 years. They may have new employees come on board, or go to other companies that they want to figure out how to get more involved. So that's a big component also, not just our new members, but how do we get our existing members in and get them engaged as well.
Absolutely. And so like I will attest to some of the benefits that I've already seen as a short-term member, right? One, having the opportunity to sit on committees and speak high level with other leaders in the industry in my space on how we can improve either processes or legislation or communication with and between certain entities here in San Diego that make decisions on how fast a building process can go. There's that. There's also, you know, the immense opportunity to meet other people that, one, can help drive your costs down and be more competitive, which the Meet the Builder was great for us because as we're trying to move into more of a multifamily space, building between like 4 and 20 units to hit that 1,000-door goal of ours, 1,000 homes here in San Diego. In order to do that, we need to be competitive in the market we're trying to grow into, and it's almost impossible to meet the right people to get you where you need to go unless, you know, it's a lot easier if you're in a room full of those people that want to be a part of it. So that's been a great experience for us as a company, as members. I guess one of my questions would be, like, what would you say to some of the smaller companies? And we're not a large company by any means. I would categorize us as small to mid-size. But like maybe the message to some of the smaller subcontractors or people out there that are like, well, I can't afford to be a part of an organization, sort of like the lone wolf mentality. What would you say to them if you were to have a conversation? They're like, yeah, we're too small. We don't, I don't really see the opportunity or the benefit of the BIA.
Okay, great question and lots of answers.
Yes.
So there's a place, I believe, for everyone at the BIA. From a legislative standpoint, we've got a super strong legislative team, and they're experts at what they do. So as a smaller company or builder, you can lean on the talent within the BIA or within the staff to help you get through some hurdles you may be having. So you're not the lone wolf. That's the first thing. You also have councils and committees that are not legislative. You've got your sales and marketing council. You've got your specialty contractors council. You have our YGen group, which is our next up and coming. We've got a place for everybody to where, even if you're a small company, I would say because you're a small company, you want to be a part of an organization like the BIA because you're going to be surrounded by experts or peers or people that you want to be able to lean on when you have a challenge. So I would say for sure a smaller company would want to leverage the talent within the BIA or the peer group or the network or the friends.
There's strength in numbers, right? Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, and again, there is a place for everybody. It's just a matter of getting in and seeing what it's all about. Try dabbling in different things, and you're going to find your spot.
Yeah, and one of the cool things that I've been really impressed with, especially as like I've watched AI take a stronghold in every industry across the board worldwide, you know, seeing that you guys have a program in place for, you know, educating people on trades and getting them involved, you know, as early on as high school. You guys have a program for that, and I think that that's so great because people need to understand that there's more than just having people watch you play video games live on stream.
Yeah.
Which is like the age that we've grown up in the last decade is everything's done online, everything's promoted, there's influencer this, influencer that. And yes, AI is going to be a big part of this industry, whether we want it to be or not. Can you talk a little bit about the program that you guys have in place to introduce people to trades and talk to them about the benefits of becoming a trade member?
Absolutely. So there's a couple of different answers for that. Internally, we have our YGen group, which is our next up and coming group. And that was created by some CEO level, president level people now today within the industry, within the BIA that wanted to grow with their peer group and kind of leverage and lean on each other. So we have that program that's more internal. There's a lot of education with it. There's a mentor program with it. But on the other side of it, we also have stuff that we're doing. You know, the average age of someone that's within our trade group is 42. Like, we're aging out, and there's not a lot of people coming into it. Their thought is they're not really aware. Everyone thinks you have to go to college, get a degree. They're not aware of what's out there and available to them. So there's a couple different things we do. We support organizations. We just did one for Boost the Tools that Joe Ventura put on. It was a job trade fair for veterans. We did that last Friday. We also are a part of, we just started a PWB, Professional Women in Building.
Love
and a
that.
lot of what that focus is, we've been trying to get it down here to San Diego for a long time. It's a NAHB and National Association of Home Builders and California Building Industry Association.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, backed program. And we've been trying to get it down here, and their main focus is education. Getting out into the industry, getting out into the colleges, getting out into the high schools, and mentoring and training young women, pulling them up into the industry, into the trades. So we're really excited about that. We actually just launched our first meeting yesterday, and we've got some great things planned for that. But we do a lot of outreach, and we're actually have one of our founding members on it. It's Mike McSweeney with BITA, the Building Industry. I got to make sure I get this right. It's a mouthful. Building Industry Technology Academy, where he's at high schools, and kind of like the old shop class that you had. This is more toward the trades. So we're doing a lot in that space. You know, we want to have internships. We want to have scholarship programs. We want to go out in and teach these young women how to write a resume, how to do an interview. You know, what does the industry look like? Give them hope. One of the gals that was at our meeting yesterday talked about how she employed somebody that was in a really bad situation. She was in foster care, and she just kind of took this young gal under her wing, and she now works for her company, and their company would be struggling if this individual wasn't a part of it. She said, wildly brilliant young woman, and she got to personally develop her. and bring her up through the ranks.
Amazing.
And she's a very important key part of her business. And so that's the type of vision that we have for that group.
I love that.
And so we're doing that. We've got the Y-Gen. We work a lot with the BIDA program. And in any way that we can, we support that. And that's a big focus.
Yeah, I think that there was, becoming a member of the BIA for me was like, oh, it's a good networking opportunity. There's the golf tournaments that I've heard
Yeah.
about for so many years through other people that I know that attend those, which are always amazing. Still have not been invited to one, so now as a member I get to attend. So I'm very excited about that. I know we have one coming up on the 10th, but I think it's sold out.
It is sold
Okay,
out.
so
Like that.
I'll be at the next one.
Yeah.
No, but outside of that, you guys host a myriad of events and educational pieces. And I know that I want to talk a little bit about the fact that you have your own podcast.
I do.
So I want to give you a second to plug your podcast and kind of what are the things you're looking to accomplish with this podcast? What are the educational tools? Our goal here From Dirt to Doorknobs is, to bring educational pieces to people who are willing to listen, that want to learn more about every aspect of the building industry, right? So we're not a huge organization like the BIA, so I would love to hear your take on, I know you edit it yourself, and that's a daunting task. What is kind of the goal for your podcast, and where can people listen to that?
Okay, so a couple different answers to that. One, I want to give a shout out to Elena Mineo. She is our events manager, events and marketing manager, and she just does an incredible job with our events. We do have some next level, golf tournaments, installation, various networking events, but we also have some really good educational events. And a lot of what we do is we listen to our members, and we'll really put a lot of thought into what we do. We've had members come to us from our trade group that said, hey, we need more exposure to builder members. And so we took Meet the Builder concept, and we did a series of lunch and learns, open for construction, how to win the bid.
Right.
And we'll have a panel of different builder members, purchasing managers, project managers, and they go deep and they talk about the projects. They talk about how to win the bid. They talk about the do's and the don'ts. And then you get to stay and have lunch with them and network. So we put a lot of thought into our events and our educational series that we do.
Seems like it.
Yeah. And I
It's
do want to
transparent.
say that Elena does a really good job with that. And then as far as the podcast, we just started that last year and it's evolving. We break it down into legislative, and then we also have member driven. So right now we have it go out the first Wednesday and the second or third Wednesday of every month.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. We're now video. The last one that we did was on installation. That was our first video one, and it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
If you haven't watched it, you got to watch it. And the next one that we're doing, we actually have the president of our Y-Gen group, Alex with Ryan Companies, is going to be interviewing Manny Rodriguez from Yimby Dems.
Cool.
And he's going to ask a lot of different questions on what they see their, Yimby Dems, what their energy's like this year, what their challenges are, what they're working on.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be a fun one. But we really just want to get information out from an educational standpoint, what the BIA's focus is, just information out to everybody on what we're doing and what some of the critical things are that we're facing within the industry.
Absolutely. I think that, advocating and taking your personal time to edit and put these things
Actually
together.
fun.
It is fun. It is fun. And I don't love to be in front of camera, but I understand the value of educating general public because there are so many questions around building. There are so many questions like, where do I get started? What are the key fundamental parts? And we have different people on this podcast to kind of explain those. Love having you on because it's a good opportunity to talk to other builders that are looking to be a part of something bigger. And then also a resource to find a podcast like yours. So you're on YouTube, you're on Spotify. Mm-hmm. How would people search for your podcast?
Look at Building Industry Association of San Diego, and the actual podcast is called BIA Talks.
Cool.
So you can go on there for that. Awesome. I also want to say another thing about the BIA is for builder members, associate members, you've got really some next level members that are part of this group and a lot of talent. So as a builder coming into the BIA, you've got some resources of some just incredible trades, some incredible sales and marketing people within the association that take it seriously. They're investing a lot of time and energy, especially the people that are on the councils and committees. They're investing a lot of time a lot of energy, a lot of money, a lot of expertise into their association because they're passionate about it. So when you come into the BIA, you're going to be surrounded by people that are investing in their industry, and who better to do business with?
Yeah, you want the people that are committed, that are cost aside, energy and time are almost more of an input than any cost that you could spend on being part of an organization or anything that you can do to help promote the success of the industry in general, right?
Yeah.
So providing knowledge, sharing what you've learned, sharing how to overcome some of the challenges that you faced in the past that maybe not everyone needs to go through. That's the reason that podcasts exist. That's the reason that at least this podcast and the BIA podcast, the networking, talking to other people that have gone through it, you can learn from their mistakes, and hopefully we can build a better future through collaboration. I've gotten
100%.
such an overwhelming sense of willingness to collaborate, even with people that are quote unquote competitors on paper to us. Like, actually, Whitney's been on one of our podcasts.
Whitney Hill? Awesome.
Yeah. And on paper, we are competitors, but we actually work very closely and send each other referrals because even though we both are builders, we're not direct competitors. And there's a lot of overlap and opportunity for us to say, hey, this is a better fit for you. They want, a design build process, and you guys do that better than anyone I know.
That's awesome.
And same, like they don't build what they don't design. So anytime they get a set of plans and they're like, hey, can you build this? They're like, no, but I know a great builder. And so there's this synergy we've been able to develop between our companies. And that's only been possible because we sit on committees through the BIA, and we've gotten to get to that level of conversation. Hey, how can we actually work together?
That's great.
And so finding that collaboration and that willingness to collaborate has been so inspiring as a new member. I'm very excited to see what the upcoming events have to hold, and other people that I can meet. Everyone is so willing to introduce you. Oh, you do this? I know this person. You got to meet them. You got to meet them. Like, everybody knows somebody.
Yeah.
And to be a part of that is very exciting for me as well. So super excited to be a part of the BIA. So happy to have you here. I want to talk about some of the upcoming events that you guys have going on. It's specifically some of the ones in April. I know we talked about the golf tournament, which is on the 10th, sold out, should be fun. I'll be at the next one. We also have the ADU fire requirements.
It's coming up on April 16th.
Which is being hosted by Whitney Hill. She's kind of putting that whole thing on. Huge advocate for changing legislation, getting answers, and getting things done. I love that about her.
And the cool thing about that is that she actually teamed up with Jeff who is this year's chair of Specialty Contractors Council to bring that. So even our councils are collaborating together, which is cool.
So cool.
So it's going to be really good information for our ADU community.
I will be there for sure. And then open for construction. We talked about that earlier. Tell me a little bit about how that came to be and why you feel like that's an important, not only for members, but for anyone to attend, because it's open to everyone, I think.
It is, yep. So that one is going to be at Simon's. And by the way, you can go get a little more detail on our events by going to our website, biasandiego.org. Go to our events page, and it gives you more detail on all of our events. But that one is our Open for Construction series. It's a lunch and learn. And again, it was one of our trades came to us and said, hey, we need a little bit more exposure. We want to know exactly, what's going on with particular builders. So we never have the same builder on. We usually will have a panel of 1 to 2 to 3 builders, depending on how much build they have going on. This one that we have is going to be Eric Aguilar and his team from Econ Construction.
Cool.
They're going to be on there, and they're going to talk about some of the projects that they have coming. They've got a lot going on, and they're going to talk about their bid platform, some of the things that they're looking for in a trade, what's important to them, the do's, what not to do.
Right.
Some funny stories on some of the things that they've experienced. And then you stay and have lunch with them, and you get to build a relationship and be exposed to someone that you wouldn't normally, get the opportunity to talk to.
That's awesome.
One of the cool things we have coming up, which we do this quarterly now, is we have member orientation. We call it member orientation because all of our members are welcome. Like I said, some members may be a member for a long period of time, but they never really got involved, didn't know how, what have you. And then our new members, all of our new members need to come to a member orientation.
I just went through one
Yay.
a couple weeks ago.
What'd you think?
I thought it was great because I think that's the other thing is that you guys, as an organization, you offer so many different things to your members outside of the opportunity to go to these events, and some of them are member-only events, education, all that stuff. Yeah, discounts through the rebate program, getting involved in helping younger people find job opportunities in the trades. So it is really cool to go through that orientation as a new member to just actualize what you guys are bringing to the table as an organization and how much work you guys are actually doing. To me, I'm so impressed, even when I go on your events page, by how many events you guys are doing on a given month. And like, I've thrown plenty of events, 150 plus people myself for different organizations, and I know how much work goes into that, all the planning and all the effort and the communication and inviting people and getting people to even show up. Is a struggle. So the fact that you guys are doing so many events and having success with attendance and people wanting to be involved is really impressive. I found that very impressive. So you guys are doing a great job. So excited to be a part of a lot of the upcoming events and some of the committees. Anything else you want to talk about in regards to the BIA as far as what you think would be important to anyone looking to join or interested in becoming more involved?
So if you are interested, you do not have to be a member to come to the orientation. I think that's a really good thing, a good start if you want to check us out. It's coming up this month, April 23rd from 4 to 6. The cool thing about it is our board of directors, who's super supportive of the overall membership, they come in after their board meeting and spend time with the new members. So you have an opportunity to meet people that you probably wouldn't be able to in a normal setting.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And they talk about their experience. They're very candid. How did they get involved in the BIA? And they give advice on how they were able to successfully navigate being a part of the industry. So that's really valuable information. So definitely, if you want to come to that, it's also on the website. Everybody's welcome. And then one really cool event and opportunity that we have this year is PCBC, Pacific Coast Builder Conference. It's put on by CBIA, which is California Building Industry Association, and it's all the West Coast, and I think it goes a little east. It's been in San Diego in 2013, 15, and 17. Historically, it's always been in San Francisco. Some of the most incredible people I've met have been through PCBC.
Cool.
That's actually how I met Sarah Kilburn, who brought me to San Diego BIA. So it's an opportunity to network and meet people. They've got their floor with all their trades. They've got educational series that are next level. So go to PCBC 2026 if you want to know more about that, but it is in San Diego this year. It's going to be at the Gaylord.
Cool.
So it's going to be a captive audience. So the energy is going to be incredible. And we get to have the main party Tuesday night. It's called the Mix Up. We've had it before in San Diego. It was kind of like the mix, the remix, like a series of mix parties. And so this one's the Mix Up. We got some incredible things planned. It's going to be at the Growler Sports Bar right there on site. And there's going to be a VIP section on the second floor and kind of dancing and networking on the main floor. And then there's a speakeasy. Some really cool stuff planned for that.
Wow.
TBD, look for that. That's going to be
On a new property down here in San
I know, I
Diego,
can't wait.
one of the largest builds in the nation. So that's really exciting. I'm going to be going.
Yeah. And one other event there that they asked us to do is a YGen driven one. It's going to be a panel the next day. Again, that'll also be on our website. It's going to be on the 29th. So PCBC is the 28th and 29th. And this one's going to be very much geared toward the build industry. We're going to have a panel of and it's going to be focused on the Chula Vista area. We're going to have Mayor John McCann's going to be one of the panelists. Someone from the Port Authority, the developers of the Gaylord. We're working on getting them on the panel.
Cool.
And then some of the builders within and developers within the Chula Vista area, and they're going to come on there. They're going to talk about their, what it took to get the Gaylord built.
Yeah.
Their dedication to building affordable housing down there, and then we're going to have an element of our YGen community that's moving down that way because it is affordable and there is a lot of build going on down there. So we'll have some of our YGen group on the panel as well. So
awesome.
Really cool things that we're looking forward to at PCBC this year.
I'm looking forward to being there. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Anyone who is looking to get more information about the BIA or, talk about some of the benefits of the membership, going to the website, obviously, biasandiego.org. You can reach out to Shannon. We'll have her information on the podcast so you guys know where to reach out. She is not a pushy salesperson. I think the one thing that I love is in this industry, it's easy to be pushy if you want to be. I've never felt that from you guys. It's always been like, hey, this is a huge opportunity and a benefit to all of our members. We'd love for you to be a part of it, but it's your decision, right? And ultimately, I had to toss and turn at night and be like, she's right. And here I am, and it's well worth the investment. And I love knowing that I have the opportunity to become more involved, meet new people, and build this with you guys and be a part of that. That's something that has been really, really good for my own personal growth in the industry, because it challenges me to learn about different parts of the industry that I didn't know about. And that only just gives me the opportunity to share that with other people. So that's why this podcast even exists. And that's why we love to have people like you on it.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to share before we close about the BA, about yourself, anything exciting in your life that's coming up?
I would just definitely say, we thank you for being on this. This is incredible. It's a great opportunity to get our information out. I would definitely do this again with our legislative team, because they are a powerhouse group. We have our new CEO, President and CEO, Amy Fawcett, and she's been here 96 days, and she's gotten more done in 96 days than most people probably do in 4, 5, 6 years. I mean, she's just powerhouse.
Love it.
So I'm excited to see. I love my BIA. I'm excited to see
What's
where
next.
we go.
Yeah.
It's the energy is incredible.
I can feel that, and I'm really excited to be a part of that energy.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
so glad to have you here. Thanks again for coming on, and I'm sure we will be in touch soon, and I'll see you at a couple upcoming events.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you.